Okay, again, still in the bush episodes, let's talk about how many Kenyans have been enslaved in debts. How many Kenyans have been enslaved in debts, like they have become slaves of debts. So they're living every day, we are living every day today life with debts. Like our life is all about paying someone's debt, paying that company's debt, paying. So there is no money that is just left for any Kenyan that they have no debts to pay and all that. Why am I talking about this? There, the life. I don't want to say that life is evolving, but life is changing and things are changing. The way we used to look at things when I was very young is not the way things are now at this age. There are very many things that are coming in, and they are giving the lipa pole pole. The I don't want to say slow payment because that's not the right translation. Uh, Pay in installments. Yes, pay in installments. Paying in installments of whatever you get, and it has gotten even to the things that we naturally used to get. Now those things we have to pay kidogo kidogo. We pay in installments for us to get whatever we need. Very simple life that we used to live. Nowadays, there are companies that have come forth in the name of giving you something, then you give a deposit, then you pay the rest of the money in installments. But you end up paying whether three quarters, you end up paying three times of the total value if you have bought that thing on cash. And it has made very many people too lazy not to save money to buy whatever they would have saved and bought earlier, sometimes back, some years back. But now, because they are giving you a way that looks like a way that looks to be so nice and so good, and you can easily buy into it because it's so much enticing. Someone comes with a phone of worth 12,000 Kenya shillings when you're buying it cash on the market. If you're buying it cash on the market, you can buy it at 10,000 Kenya shillings or 12,000 Kenya shillings. But this person tells you, I have this phone and you only need to give me 1,200 as a deposit. Then the rest of the money you'll be paying them daily or monthly. Daily subscription of this phone would be 20 shillings every day, and you have to pay for a period of 12 months. Mm-hmm. A period of 12 months, but you're paying 20 shillings or 100 shillings every day. If you do a very good summation of all this amount you have to pay for 12 months, 20 shillings, we will realize that you've paid over 36,000 for the phone that you could have bought with 12,000. Over 36,000 to a phone that you would have bought with 12,000. So what do? Can you save that 20 shillings for a few months, then get yourself that phone on cash and save the rest of the money that you are going to give this person? And most of the companies have realized that that is the best way they can make money out of unsuspecting Kenyans, and not just Kenyans, but it's something that is happening around the world. But I hope most of the third world countries are much affected than the countries that have developed, because this is where people have a lot of money and we don't really think better. We don't really reason, don't really take time to think about all these things before we get ourselves in. And that is not just about the phones alone. Even the natural pieces of land that we've bought with our own money, someone still comes and enslaves you with a deal that they are using your piece of land that you bought with your own money, and they give you a deal to use your land, but you'll be paying them. They're using your land that you bought your own money, but you're paying them. What am I talking about? These guys will come with the fertilizer thing. Leave alone the fertilizer that the government is giving with subsidized cost. Leave alone that one. That one is well and good because it's not enslaving anyone. But there are these other companies, guys, you know that. There are these other companies that will tell you that we'll be giving you seeds and fertilizer. So we're giving you this seeds and fertilizer on a very cheap, like on installments. You give us a deposit, we give you the seeds and the fertilizers, then you register with us, and then we'll be supplying you this, but you'll have to be paying it on a monthly. You realize if you could have gone for the cereal board to buy the seeds and the fertilizer, you could have bought it cheaply than the way you trusted these people and gave them the installments, accepted to start buying this mbolea or whatever, not mbolea, fertilizer from them on a whatever cost and all that. It's like they're loaning you the seeds, and they're also loaning you the fertilizer. So you'll be paying them on a slowly on an installments. You'll be paying them in installments without fertilizer. Then you end up, when you don't pay them, they'll come and carry whatever you have to pay themselves and all that. That is how they have also enslaved you. They came with a very enticing way, telling you that we are going to give you this, and that these are very cheap price. When they're approaching you, they're very good people, but the problem is, when you fail to pay them, they don't really understand. As much as the conditional, whatever, all this might be a problem, they don't carry the blame. They might find a way to blame you for not following given instructions that made you not realize the yield that they promised you they will. But sometimes the weather and the natural weather conditions plays a very big role in some of these things, that sometimes you might not get everything the way you thought you will get them. So that is it. And that is not only on Shamba thing and all that. Let's come back to, so we've talked about phones, the way they are stealing you by giving you what seems to be cheaper phones, but at the end of it becomes to be most expensive phones that you can ever buy. Number two, we've talked about the fertilizers and the seeds that they're supplying you for you to plant your maize. Now you become more dependent on those seeds and fertilizer. The way they do these things, you become more dependent to those seeds and fertilizer, so that you cannot do without them. Whether you like it or not, you still have to go for that loan. You still have to go for that loan to get it from them and all that. Now, let's leave the phones and the fertilizer and the seedlings, seeds alone. Let's get ourselves to electricity. Electricity. I'm not talking about Kenya. I'm not talking about the. I'm not talking about that. You guys know what I'm talking about. There are these guys who come with sustainable, whatever lighting was sources of power to come here. The solar. Then they give you a solar. If you would have bought that solar on the market, you'll buy it at 2,000, even 2,000, yeah, 2,000 or 2,500. Yeah, you'll buy that much. And they add you some two lightings or three lightings on top, and then they give you a battery, like a small battery. If you would have bought that battery, you'll buy it very cheaply, less than 1,000. Then they tell you the whole of this thing is to say, let's say 10k or 12,000, but we just want you to give us 1,000. Then the rest of this money you'll pay them on a monthly installment. Then they have a way they can switch off your battery not to work if you have not paid them. So you have to pay them for you to be able to. But what happened? Them days, before we got that lighting, we had our own simple ways. Either we use candles that are very cheap to get, or we use paraffin torch lamps. Yeah, torch lamps that were easy to get. And then they came and told us, if you continue using that one, it has an effect on your eyes. Like, it has an effect on your eyes, you might not be. But our fathers and our mothers used those gadgets, used those things, those stoves and whatever lights and all that, and they are here and they are still, everything is still working well for them. They don't have eyes problems and all that, and they are well okay. Our grandfathers used the same, and they are, some of them are still seeing their eyesight as sights are much better than what the lights that these people are selling unto, so that you can buy whatever they are. And then they'll tell you, sometimes there is no paraffin and all these other things, so you might not end up using this one. But with this one, there is its reliability is much better because the sun is always shining. But what they don't tell you is, if you don't pay it, they will switch you off. If you don't pay it, they will switch you off, and once they have switched you off, you cannot see. So you still go back to that lantern, you still go back to that candle that you used to use before they brought their good lighting and power system. Yeah, before they brought in their good lighting and power system that they've given you on loan, that you'll pay 5 times than the actual pricing of all these things. But because they tell you, don't worry, you can even pay 5 shillings or 10 shillings and we can light this thing up for you, and you just be there. And because it's that much lesser, 5 shillings or 10 shillings, someone will say, oh, this one is much better, I can't fail to get 10 shillings in a day, I must get 10 shillings in a day. But the truth is, there are moments when you might not be able to get that 10 shillings in that day. So that means you'll be in darkness. So all these things are here. Now let's leave that one alone. Let's go to the transport system. Locomotion, moving from one place to another. Yeah, Yeah, locomotion. Let me move from one place to another. So even in the transport system, the system is still working for them. We have motorcycles that people are getting on loan and paying 2 times the price, the actual price at the end. And some of them, when you get to the level of finishing up the payment, they will do their stuff and all that. Maybe you end up not getting that, not owning that motorcycle, or you end up not owning that car because the charges are too expensive. They make everything look like it's impossible for you to get it, but when they came to you, they told you it's easy for you to get all these things and all that. So why, those are just examples of the kind of enslavement that we are getting, that companies are getting you into, so that on a daily basis you have a loan to pay. You have a loan to pay. You have the fields loan to pay, that is for the seedlings and the fertilizer that they gave you. You have it to pay. You have a loan to pay for the lighting that you're using in your house. You have a loan to pay for the phone that you're using. You have a loan to pay for the phone that you're using. You have a loan to pay for the movement that you're using, the locomotion, maybe motorcycle or the small car that you're using. You have a loan to pay. So you have a loan to pay in each and everything. The food that you're eating, you still have a loan to pay on each and everything. So there's no any single day you're living a life free from loans. It's because you've wanted to go to get yourself in that. It's not them. You have the power to say no or yes. You have the power to accept their deals or tell them no. Then you save your money, be able to get what you need, then go buy it on cash price and buy it cheaper. But because you want the quick way, you enslave yourself. So it's not just them. It's both of you, both of us and them, because I have a decision to say no to their good deal. I have a decision to say no on their good deal, but because I don't want to say no on their good deal, I still have to get myself in that. So think about this. Think about this. Don't let these people enslave you. Don't let these people enslave you. Why can't we go back to our saving culture? Why can't we go back to our saving culture? Save more money, and once it is to that amount that we need, we go buy that thing on cash. We can do that. We can do that. It's still possible. We used to do that and we can still do it now. So think about that. If you think this information is helping you, why can't you hit the subscription button? Hit here, the subscription button, and hit the bell. So the next time we are pulling up such a wisdom, you also grab it as soon as possible. Thank you. Until next time we meet, it's been your host, Alan. Bye.